What's up, gang? How you guys doing? It is Lieutenant Sal Blue, 28-year law enforcement veteran and the author, guys, of the top 25 mistakes en route to the good life. Coming at you with my daily podcast, man. Okay, and listen, I want to let you guys know, first of all, let me get this good in the camera, man. You see this good? Bang, that's me. That's my autobiography on the back. A little bit about myself. And I'm gonna tell you guys something, right? When I wrote this book was one of those things that I felt that I needed to pay it forward, right? Writing this book about top 25 mistakes, it was all about transparency and just letting people know that, hey, you can still have a good life, but you need to make less mistakes or you are going to run out of time, man. So, I wrote that book thinking about that, and then after I did the book, Top 25 Mistakes, I realized I made so many mistakes, guys, that I need to talk about this every day. Every day I'm making some type of mistake that I want to show people not to make so that they can possibly get ahead, so they could leapfrog past all of these mistakes, okay, and get to the good life sooner, faster, better. And that's how we got to do it, man, here on Top 25 Mistakes, man, podcast. So anyway, today's question, right? You know, since we got all of these movies coming out, and if you guys did not know, I am going back to doing a little bit of security at the movies. Not too much, and I thought I was done with it completely, but I love the movies. I love the movies. I don't like working at the movies, but I love the movies. So I'm going back to the movies, doing a little bit of security at the movies, and so we'll be talking. Probably some of my podcasts may even be while I'm working at the movies, just walking and talking with you guys, just letting you know what's going on in my mind, and why I have succumbed to security at the movies. But anyway, we'll get into that deep. But today's question, man, just thinking about the movies, I wanted to have a question for you guys today. And that question is, are you trapped in the Matrix? That's right. Are you trapped in the Matrix? And my follow-up question to that is, how long have you been living in survival mode? Yes, I know. There's tons of people out there and they're living in survival mode. You know, they've taken this pandemic to heart, right? And they have basically said, I am in survival mode. And some people have been in survival mode long before the pandemic even hit. So they're in double deep survival mode. You know what I mean? So just taking a little bit swig of my coffee, get my throat right. But they're in survival mode. And I just want to know, man, how long have you been living in survival mode, right? Since 2019, since 2020. You know, when did your savings run out? When did your credit cards get ran up, right? All these expenses are coming back now and they're really hitting you hard. How far are you extended? What are you doing? Why are you living in survival mode? Okay, you got to answer that question, man. You got to answer that question before you move on and move forward. And so that is my question for you guys today, for you guys to grow on. So let's get started, man. In life, right? In life, most people think it is all about survival, right? They really think this. This is how they're living their life each and every day. So, as suspected, right? Most people base most of their life's decisions on doing whatever it takes to survive, which I feel is probably one of the most dangerous type individuals. And we talked about individual types the other day, right? When they're living in survival mode, they're in that do whatever it takes to survive mode. And that is a bad mode to be in order to achieve a good life. Now, when you're in this type of mindset, guys, there is very little room for you to think about becoming extraordinary in what you do, because you live in a survival mode. So you're not thinking about living at a higher level. You're not thinking about an extraordinary life. You're thinking about, where's my next meal gonna come from? How am I going to pay my bills at the end of the month? What is going on with these credit cards? They're running up and they're driving me into the ground. And every time I get a paycheck, okay, it is gone, okay, before the end of the day by the time it hits my bank account. So that's survival mode. You're not thinking about being extraordinary, right? And so when you're like that, that is why so many people reach the heights of life, right? Not too many people, I'm sorry. That is why very few people reach the heights of life that they dreamed of, right? You know, you had those great dreams when you were younger. And the reason is because each day as someone else gains, as you see someone around you, right? Because we have social media now and the news and television and everything else, the internet. And so you're watching people gain that life, that dream life that you having. Even if they're posers, it doesn't matter whether they're posing or not, right? You're seeing people living the type of life that you want to live each and every day. And so when you watch them do that, right? You know, as you watch them rise to fame, fortune, wealth, riches, or anything else that you may desire, guys, you start to believe, when you have that mindset, that there is now less to go around, right? And when you start believing that there's less to go around, right, that is called a scarcity mindset, right? And the scarcity mindset is, guys, listen, it is at the bottom of the wealth triangle. The bottom of the wealth triangle. And I want you to understand that the competition at the bottom of the wealth triangle is freaking, it's fierce. It is overwhelming, the competition down there at the bottom of the wealth triangle. Now, it's probably not for the reason that most of you think, right? Most of you think, when you guys think competition, you think friendly competition, sports, whatever, gladiators, even if it's an ugly competition, right? It has some type of rules to it, right? That is not the competition that is at the bottom of the wealth triangle, guys. Right? So it's not what most of the reason that you think, right? Because you may be thinking also, right? You know, people are striving to become more, right? So you're thinking at the bottom of the wealth triangle, these groups of people, you know, which is in the scores, the millions, right? They're striving to become more than what they currently are, so that they can then turn around and give more than what they were currently giving in the past, right? When you think of, and I know this is me, when you think of becoming more, right, you think of more of giving back more. But that's not how it's happening in the wealth triangle, right? It is when you're in the scarcity mindset and you're at the bottom of the wealth triangle, you're not thinking about becoming more and giving more than you've given in the past. Right? No. This competition at the bottom of the wealth triangle is for the imagined and unattainable scarce resources. So what the people at the bottom of the wealth triangle are thinking is, they're thinking that these resources, right, that are imagined, they think that there's a certain number of resources labeled out for a certain people, and that if someone grabs those resources, there is nothing left to replenish that for other people. So they start to think in terms of scarce resources, of things that are not going to be around if someone else gets it. And that's why the competition down there is overwhelming, right? So if you think about this, right, and I'll give you guys an example, right? If I believe that there are 10 jobs being offered at a company, right? 10 jobs being offered at a company, and my only possibility to gain income for my family is to get one of these jobs, right? Because this is what I think. I think that this job is the only chance. Now, just bear with me on this, because I understand that it is multiple ways for you to make income and gain money for your family. But right now you're thinking scarce resource mindset. So you're thinking this new company came in town, there's 10 jobs available, right? And this is the only way I'm going to be able to feed my kids. And so now your mind starts to imagine those scarce resources, those 10 jobs, right? Okay, and so now you begin to think, right, how many people have applied for this job? Now you're looking and it's 10 jobs, but 100 people have applied for this job. So that is the competition that you're getting at the bottom of the wealth triangle, right? 100 people apply for that job. Now, what you're starting to think is you're going to go into survival mode, right? Now, when you go into survival mode, what you're going to try to do is you're going to try to remove your competition, right? If it's 100 people and it's people in the neighborhood and people you know and everybody's around, you may put on a smiling face about the job, but you are literally going to go in cutthroat mode, survival mode, in order to eliminate as many of the competition as possible, okay, in order to assure yourself one of those 10 positions for the job, right? And so that may end up, right? That may end up resulting in a by all means necessary scenario when it comes to that. Now, I'm sure you would agree, right, that sounds dangerous, right? If somebody wants a job and you're competing for the job, and everybody down the bottom of the wealth triangle is thinking by all means necessary, right? By all means necessary, I'm going to get that job over you. That's about as dangerous as it comes when you start to think of scarce resources, right? So my question to you is this: why would you want to subject yourself to that type of barbaric competition of imagined scarce resources? Those resources aren't scarce. Those 10 jobs are not scarce resources for the community. Those 10 jobs were created, right? So before that, there were no 10 jobs. So if those 10 jobs were created, just as easily, 90 more jobs can be created. It's all about the value that you bring to the table. You know, I always tell people, don't go competing for a job that a company offers, right? Create a job by showing them that you have skills that the company needs in order to rise up to the top. So there may be no jobs available, but if you come in with a unique skill, okay, they will make a position for you in that job. And you got to start thinking that, guys. You got to start thinking that when it comes to resources, right? And basically, as I told you guys before, what you need to do is unplug from the matrix. And it is the matrix of scarce resources. It is the matrix of fighting in the shallow end of the ocean. Because that's what people do, right? People who live in a scarcity mindset, people who are living at the bottom of the wealth pyramid, this is what they do. They have a scarcity mindset and they swim in the safe area, right? The shallow end of the ocean, right along the shore, you know, right where you can see your bags, where you can see the umbrellas and people and everybody's right there, right? You ever gone to the beach in the summertime? It's super hot, it's blazing hot, 100 degrees out, and everybody's right there on the shoreline, barely getting their feet wet in the ocean, right? That is the scarcity mindset, and that is the type of resources that are going to be available at the bottom of the wealth pyramid. Now, these people do this because, number one, for two reasons, right? They're afraid to swim to the deep part of the ocean because they're afraid to be eaten by one of the rare occasions that a shark may come by, right? So they're scared of that possibility. They've already imagined that. Okay? And also, the fact is, they're totally and completely afraid to drown, right? And you know what happens when you drown? You drown because you have not been working, to get your skills up to a level of where you can go out to the deepest end of the ocean and tread water for as long as you have to, guys. Okay, and that means, okay, working on your skills. Skills that are needed, okay, to help you survive. Skills that are needed. That is what I've been doing since I retired from law enforcement, right? I've been working on new skills, guys. And listen, it doesn't happen overnight. These skills take time. They take time. They take a lot of work. They take a lot of patience, man. They take a lot of patience. Okay, and they take tons of effort. And not a lot of people at the bottom of the wealth triangle is willing to put in that type of work, and they're not willing to put in that type of effort. You need to be different. You need to be different, okay? And you need to do this in order to live an extraordinary life. See, now, I'm going to tell you guys this. Once you begin to work on yourself, instead of trying to take from others resources, right? Resources will come to you. So instead of you trying to take someone else's resources because you believe that they're scarce, begin to work on yourself. And resources will come to you, right? When you work on yourself and there are 10 jobs, there are probably only going to be 9 because someone will know that you are a person of skills and they will offer you that position, right? Or they may even offer you a position that's not even created because they believe that you are a person that is giving value to the company. So understand that and work on your skills and work to become better, right? And when you do that, you will attract instead of chasing, right? And that is what you want to do in life, right? You don't want to be constantly chasing money, right? You don't want to constantly be chasing wealth. You don't want to constantly be chasing fame, fortune, notoriety. You don't want to chase all of that, guys. What you want to do is you want to constantly work on yourself so that all of that stuff is drawn to you. And that is probably the key to living an extraordinary life, guys. It is constant, frequent work on yourself. And that is what people at the bottom of the wealth pyramid are not willing to do, right? They're not willing to do that. So, and the reason why is because they live in with a scarcity mindset. Now, I know some of you guys, who are still complaining that opportunities are not there for you, right? And I get it. That is what you believe, right? And there's so many people out there that run around and they tell me the same thing, right? They be like, Lieutenant Blue, man, I don't know where you're looking at, but opportunities have not been there lately, right? Jobs haven't been there, income hasn't been there, wealth hasn't been there, wealth creation hasn't been there. And my answer to them is this, right? You are hanging around the wrong people, period. You're hanging around the wrong people. When you start to believe that, you're hanging around the wrong people. You're plugged in, man. You got to unplug. You're hanging around the wrong people. Now, I used to listen to people all the time, and they used to talk about how they say something like this. They be like, neither me, I've been looking, LT, and say me nor any of my friends, right, have gotten a chance at those opportunities that you're talking about, and we have all tried, right? And that's how they usually tell me, right? I tell them about opportunities that are available. I tell them about upping their skills. I tell them about it's no such thing as scarcity, but it's abundance. I talk to them about how money doesn't disappear. It is just transferred. It's just transfer from person to person, and it's always flowing, and you have to put yourself in the way of it in order to get it and have it be a part of your life, right? And I always talk this to people all the time. And so when they tell me that they have and their friends have tried to create these opportunities or find these opportunities, my answer to them is always the same, guys. It's always the same, right? And I tell them that is because you are hanging around the wrong group of friends. Guys, listen, if you are hanging around the same people and you are getting the same results, you're insane, man. You're insane. You're out of your mind. It's you echo chamber each other's thoughts, right? You echo chamber each other's philosophy. You echo chamber the scarcity mindset. All of you are living on the shore. All of you are afraid to go out into the deep end of the ocean, right? Because you've all convinced each other that it's okay. And as long as it's several of you living at the bottom of the wealth pyramid and none of you are getting ahead, then it's all right. Because guess what? The moment that one of you starts to get ahead and you're still hanging in a group, watch out. The entire group is going to attack you, and they will try their damnedest to pull you back down to the bottom of the wealth pyramid. It's like crabs in a barrel down there, guys. You got to live a loftier life. You got to separate yourself, you know? They can be your friends, but they have to be your friends at a distance. So you have to begin to separate yourself, okay, from their mentality in order to start to believe and grasp a new mentality. As I talked over and over again about the Matrix, man, you got to step out of that reality, right? That reality is going to bring you nothing but pain and heartache, which is normal for the group of people that you are hanging around. Pain and heartache, that's what y'all live. That is how y'all live each and every day. You live each and every day with pain and heartache, and it's okay. Right? And you may say to me that it's not okay, but I'm going to tell you what. The same thing that I used to tell my clients when I was a personal trainer and they were overweight. Right? I tell them over and over again, you need to diet, you need to do this, you need to do that. Several things you need to do, and they never did it. You know, the few that did it were already committed to it. You know, so I would just be showing them steps. But the ones that always complain about doing it, I told them, I said, the day will come when you get sick and tired of being sick and tired. When you get tired of hearing yourself complain about having the same problems this year as you had last year, of having the same problems as you had this year than the year before, if you had the same weight, okay, for 12 months and didn't do anything about it, okay, when you're sick and tired of hearing that over and over again, you get angry with yourself. You get angry at yourself, you may get upset, you may cry, do whatever. But when that moment comes, you move immediately. The change happens instantly, guys. You can change your mindset instantly. You don't have to wait. You know, it don't have to be days, weeks, months. You can change your mindset in an instant from scarcity to abundance. And trust me, there is abundance out there. Right? There is abundance out there, and you have to begin to believe. And you don't have to be an optimist or a pessimist. It doesn't matter. Right? It doesn't matter what you are. But what you need to be is a person that realizes that there's abundance out there, and you don't have to live, okay, fighting for scraps. You don't have to live fighting for scraps. There's tons of abundance out there, guys. So continue to work on your skills and continue to shift your mindset. Okay? When you are dealing with the same group of friends, guys, what they're going to give you, they're only going to give you what you have gotten in the past. Your life is not going to change. It is going to be exactly the same over and over and over again. I'm talking Groundhog's Day, guys. I'm talking Groundhog's Day. Your life is going to be the same. It's going to be the same rotation each and every day if you're around the same people. That's just how it's going to be, right? You will end up having the same conversations about the same things for the rest of your life, guys. And it is going to eventually drive you mad. It's going to drive you mad. And it's actually, right? It actually is going to dull your senses, right? Because it's the same thing, and you start to believe that you're trapped. And once you believe that you're trapped, okay, it's like the elephant, okay, with the string tied to a pole, right? Afraid to move, okay, because they have a rope around their neck and they can't move, okay? That is the type of mindset that you are trapping yourself in if you don't break free, if you don't unplug, right? So you have to break free from the bottom of the wealth pyramid, guys. And you have to begin, okay, with moving toward being uncomfortable. You got to work toward being uncomfortable, okay, and get comfortable with being uncomfortable, because that is where the sweet spot is going to lie. You are never going to feel good. You are never going to be happy about it, okay? You just know that that is something that you need to do, right? As I tell you over and over again, you have to unplug from the matrix. And if you think about the movie The Matrix, right? Once he unplugged, there was no going back. Once you realize that there is no such thing as scarcity, but there is abundance everywhere, it is so impossible to plug back in, man. Change your mindset, guys. Change your life, man. That's it, man. That's all I'm talking about today. I'm going to wrap this up, man, because I think that this was much needed for many people out there to hear today about abundance and scarcity, man. I need you guys to get from the bottom. Stop living off the scraps at the bottom of the wealth pyramid. There's abundance up here at the top of the wealth pyramid. Get up here, live your life right. Do it now, okay? Listen, if you guys have not done it yet, make sure you hop on over to lieutenantsalblue.com. That's LTSALBLUE.com. Okay, and pick up your copy of my book, Top 25 Mistakes. I'm giving away 10,000 autographed copies of my book if you buy it from my website, okay? And they're gonna be autographed copies. And so get over there, check them out, pick it up. I got tons of other specials that I'm giving away on my site. If you have any issues on my site, just shoot me a DM at any of the social media platforms, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, Blogger, YouTube, wherever it's at, wherever you're seeing it's at. And I will work on that immediately and get your free copy out to you guys. So that's it. And just shoot me a DM if you guys want me to talk about something that you want to hear tomorrow. Okay? Tomorrow's Friday. And I'll talk to you guys later. You guys have a fantastic evening. Deuces.